to talk about healing the physical body. Specifically, what are we avoiding? So, and probably anybody can relate to this, but this is specifically geared towards those of us who have exhausted all avenues of healing and still feel like garbage. So maybe you've gotten your lab work done and it shows normal. Maybe you've gone to Eastern medicine doctors, Western medicine doctors, you've done your research, you've done all this stuff, and you're still not feeling well. One thing to offer based on my own experience and my own healing journey is to ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What am I avoiding giving up in order to feel well? So one of the things I hear for those who haven't quite met the most intense part of their physical healing journey, when I suggest to them, maybe try not including gluten and dairy in your diet or sugar. And the response I get a lot of the time is, that's impossible, or I can never do that. And I say, okay. Because there may come a time when we get desperate enough where we will do anything in order to feel better. So part of my mission right now is to awaken us all to make some of these changes before we get into some serious health crises. So for my journey, I had for a year and a half, I was getting heart palpitations. I had chronic fatigue. I had inflammation in my joints. Everything was sore. I had muscle weakness. I was getting vertigo like randomly for 3 days at a time, just randomly. Gut issues, like I would get these horrible stomach cramps, which cause like nausea and dizziness and all kinds of stuff. So that came at a time when my my full-time work was coming to a close. I could feel it. I could feel this just like fighting within me that was, I have to hang on. I have to hang on. I need this job. I can't survive without this job. But I got sick enough where I didn't really think I had a choice anymore. I could feel my body breaking down so much whenever I would be at this job, or I worked from home at the time partially too. I could feel my body just like absorbing disease. And I had a breaking point and said, okay, I'm going to do it. There's nothing I wouldn't do in order to feel better. So I left my job, focused on my healing, physical healing. One of the other things that I had never tried was to go on a strict vegan diet. I did that. Meat was something that I was attached to. At that point, so to give you a little bit of background, I'd gone through SIBO cleanses, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, and candida gut restoration processes multiple times. Disease still kept coming back. Blood work, perfectly fine. Yeah. So, once I did that, it took about 9 months of dedication, and my body had felt better than it had ever felt. Not at its top peak, but that was a huge turning point to show me that when I dedicate myself to my healing journey as a whole, that healing is possible. Like whole body physical healing is possible, but I have to be willing to put in the work and to do pretty much anything in order to serve this vessel. So then within a year, my hormones were back into balance, and now I hardly get sick. I got sick last year, like maybe once a year I'll get sick, and I welcome it because it's a chance to just kind of like rest. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it's never really all that bad. And my body bounces back really well after that. So with all of that, what is it that we are attaching ourselves to? What is it that we aren't yet willing to give up in order to feel better? And are we willing to risk feeling worse in order to hang on to, our sugar addiction a little bit longer, or our bread or our cheese or our meat or whatever it is. Going back to the vegan, I am not vegan anymore. This was a anti-inflammatory diet I went on. Some people have a lot of success with a vegan diet and through supplementation and strategically eating foods to keep their nutrient levels up. For me, meat once a week, red meat, is exactly what my body needs to restore those nutrients. So once we get to a point where we have cleaned the terrain, as Dr. Acuna says. If you don't know Dr. Acuna, I have a couple interviews on our YouTube channel with her. She's my chiropractor, and I actually saw her today, and I always learn a lot from her. So, but yeah, once we clean the terrain, then we're able to really come into a stronger body awareness. So when we eat something that does not feel good, our body will tell us, and it won't be a question as to what it is. So yeah, and then two, something I learned was the whole body healing process. So where I first started doing yoga, I got more physical exercise, and that's what I started with, and that proved in many ways such incredible benefits. After that, I went into meditation. So this was around the time I became pregnant. So I focused my practice on meditation, learning to calm my mind, to control my breath. From there, I went into the spiritual aspect of things. I started praying more. I returned to my faith. I started to connect with the energy within and around me. And then from there, I mean, all throughout that process, the body has mirrored to me what it needs throughout, taking care of my physical form through exercise and eating right and practicing my spirituality and calming my mental state and getting in tune with my emotions. There's no area that we cannot touch. We cannot avoid all of that. I know people who have compartmentalized their emotions, and they have chronic illness now. If you've read The Body Keeps the Score, or if you understand that concept, that all that energy has to go somewhere. So if we have an emotion, something traumatic that happened, from the past, all of that energy gets stored in our body. And if we don't go into that space and heal it and confront it and forgive and move on, it's going to eventually turn into illness. So this is a process right now, and many of us are going through this, whether willing or unwillingly, to look at all of these parts of our lives where we have lost touch with our true self, the part of ourselves that is free and open and connected to divine wisdom and all of that. So this is as I see it, is a healing process, is learning every single part of ourselves and exposing every single part of ourselves and getting in touch with that, so we can ultimately just feel that freedom of being and embodying and living as we truly are, versus what society, tells us we need to be, or what our families tell us we need to be, or who we think we should be. We become actually who we are, and the body responds to that, and wellness is possible. So just to encourage you, if you are in, have chronic disease right now, don't give up. You can heal it. You can feel better, or at least bring it into a balanced state. So even if it's something that you can never eradicate from your life, that you can live your life, you can feel back in balance and do the things that you love to do. And the more you do that, and the more you get in touch with that joy and what you love to do, that's going to feed back into your body too. So if, we're in this negative state and we think, I can't do this, this is too tough, I keep hitting walls, I'm never going to feel better, we're manifesting that. So if we say, I haven't found the solution yet, my body doesn't feel, where I know it could feel yet, but I know I can get there and do the things that we can do in the moment. If we're feeling really tired and we can't get out for a walk that day, maybe we can read, or maybe we can sit out in the sun, lay in the grass, take up a craft or something that's not strenuous. So there's always something we can do every single day to feed joy into our bodies and to help our bodies break through all of these restraints that have been put on us and that we've put on ourselves, and ultimately free ourselves. So please share your stories. If you're called, or you can always reach out to me with any specific questions. But I'd love for you to share with this group what you've learned in your journey, what helps keep you going. You don't have to call out specifically, your own medical history, anything like that. But what has helped you through all this, and what are your struggles? What is it that you keep getting on repeat over and over in your mind, whether it's positive or if it's negative? And if there's a way that we can support you as a community, to pray for you as a community, please use this group for that. You can put it in the comments, or you can also do the anonymous post function as well. So we are here for you. We are all in this together, and I appreciate all of those who do share their stories with me, and you inspire me to continue going as well. So much love.